Alright, so we're going to move on to section 2 in the Benco 2026 test 4. It said write the missing digit in the boxes below. So looking at this equation here now, we know it's a subtraction equation. So we start on the right hand side on the ones column. 9 take away 6 is 3. 4 cannot take away 5. So therefore we need to take one from the 6. Alright. Here will remain with 5. Here becomes 14. 14 take away 5 is 9. So we know now that some number when subtracted from 5 leaves a remainder of 4. Alright, or gives you a difference of 4. Alright, so give you a difference of 1. Therefore, it would be 4. Alright. So 5 take away 4 would give us a difference of 1. Alright, and then 8 take away 3 will give us 5. So the missing values are 4 and 5. Alright, you'll get 1 mark each. Number 22. Jovi has 615 shells. Amir has 149 fewer than him. How many shells do they have all together? So based on this here now, we don't know how much Amir has, but we know he has 149 fewer, which means it's less. So we want to calculate Amir's number first. So that will be 615 take away 149 and we'll remain with 466 shells. Now we know Jovi's amount, we know Amir's amount. Now we want to calculate all together. All together mean the total. And to calculate all together, we add. So to calculate the total is 615. Add Amir's amount, which is 466, and we get 1081. Alright, you'll get 1 mark for Amir, 1 mark for the total. Number 23, cans of soda were placed in boxes of 4. If the 175th soda can is being packed, what box number is it being placed in? So good. So if you're grouping things on boxes of 4, we know the operation we need to do when grouping is division. Alright, so we have 175 and we're grouping it now in heaps of 4. So 4 could go into 17 4 times, 1 remains. 4 could go into 15 3 times. That is 12, 13, 14, 15 with a remainder of 3. So therefore, this means we have 43 full boxes and we have 3 loose ones. So that means in this other box here now, we have 3 in it and we need 4 to make a complete box. So if you have 43 full boxes and a box with 3, therefore that means you are on box 44. Alright. One mark for your division, 1 mark for your final answer. Number 24, in a company's car park, 60% of the 40 cars are red. Alright. That figure represents 1/5 of the total vehicles owned by a company. How many cars does the company own? Alright. So basically they're asking for how many vehicles the company owns in total. So they said 60% of the 40 cars are red. So first now we need to find out the number of red cars. And using mathematical terms here now, we know 60% is 60 over 100. Off mean to multiply 40 over 1. Cancel, 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 cancel. 6 4s are 24. So we know we have 24 red cars. They said that figure now, this 24, represent 1/5 of the total vehicles. So we know that 1/5 is equal to 24 cars. We know our fraction and the quantity that it is equal to. So therefore, to calculate the total, we take the quantity and multiply it by the invert of the fraction. So 24 multiplied by 5, which will give us 120 vehicles. Alright. 1 mark for number of red cars, 1 mark for total. Number 25, Vicky was given the equation below. So 245 multiplied by 13. Instead, she multiplied 425. The equation is 245 multiplied by 13. Instead, she multiplied 245 by 31. What is the difference between the answer she got for the incorrect equation and the correct equation? So therefore, we need to find out the answer for the incorrect equation. We need to also find out the answer for the correct equation. And we also need to find the difference. So we know 245 multiplied by 13 is the correct equation, and 245 multiplied by 13, that will give us 3,185. Now for the incorrect equation, 245 multiplied by 31, that will give us 7,595. Now I wanted to calculate the difference. The difference means to subtract. So 7,595 take away 3,185, and that will give us 4,410. One. Alright, number 26 shown below are items purchased at 2 stores. The cost of each stapler is $30 in both stores. So $30 here, $30 here. Alright, which store is selling the tape cheaper? What is the price of one roll of tape at that store? So we know now that, let's work out for each store here now. So store A, we know 4 reels of tape, so 4 tapes, plus $30, because that's the cost for the stapler, $30, is equal to a total of $110. So 4 tapes would be the $110, take away the $30, and that will give us $80. So 4 tapes is $80, so 1 tape would be the 80 divided by 4, which is equal to $20. So a reel of tape in store A is $20. Now let's work out for store B. We have 3 tapes, 3 rolls of tape, plus $60, because it's 30 at 30, it's 2 staplers here, so plus $60 is equal to $114. So 3 tapes is 114, take away 60, and that will give us $54 for 3 rolls of tape. So 1 tape would be the 54 divided by 3, which is equal to $18. So based on this information, they said which store is selling the tape cheaper. It would be store B. And they also said what is the price of one roll of tape over there. It is $18 per roll. Alright, so you got 1 mark for your final answer, 1 mark for A, 1 mark for B. Number 27, Farid has 120 mangoes. 1/2 of Farid's mangoes is equal to 1/4 of Melissa's mangoes. How many mangoes do they have all together? So we know that Farid has this amount, and 1/2 of that is equal to 1/4 of Melissa's amount. So let's find out how much mangoes represents 1/4. So we know 1/2 of 120 is equal to 60 mangoes. Alright, so therefore we know that 1/4 is equal to 60 mangoes. So 1/4, this is Melissa's value, 1/4 of Melissa's mangoes is equal to 60. So to calculate Melissa's total, we know a fraction and the quantity is equal to, we take the quantity and multiply it by the invert of the fraction, and that will give us 240 mangoes. So Melissa has a total of 240 mangoes. The one how much you have all together. So all together we need to add. It will be the 240 add the 120, and that will give us 360 mangoes. Number 28, Brandon received 3/8 of his weekly allowance for each of the additional tasks which he completes. He earned $75 after doing 5 additional tasks during the week. How much money does he have altogether? So in total he did 5 additional tasks and he earned a total of $75. So the cost or the amount he earned for one task, so 5 tasks, is equal to $75. So for one task, it will be the 75 divided by 5, which is equal to $15. So we know he earned $15 per additional task. And that $15 represents 3/8 of his weekly allowance. So therefore we know 3/8 is equal to $15. So to calculate the total allowance, again we know a fraction and the quantity is equal to, we take the quantity and multiply it by the invert of the fraction. 3 into 3 1, 3 into 15 5, 8 by 5 is 40. So it's $40, this is base allowance. And then to ask now how much money did he earn or does he have altogether. Alright, so we know it was $40 for his base allowance, plus the $75 additional that he got, which is equal to $115. Alright. Number 29. Tyrone purchased a watch for $1,200. He sold the watch and made a loss of 15%. How much did he sell the watch for? First, we need to calculate the amount of money he lost. So that is 15 over 100, because percentage is out of 100, multiplied by the cost price over 1. Cancel these two zeros, cancel these two zeros. 15 multiplied by 12 is, we got $180. So he lost $180. So to calculate the selling price, when we make a loss, it would be the selling price, the cost price, take away the loss. So the cost price was $1,200, take away the amount that he lost, which is $180. Remember, when you make a loss, it means that you sold the item for less money than you paid for the item. Alright, so therefore you sold the item for $1,020. Number 30. On the grid below, construct a rectangle with an area of 24 centimeters squared. So if that needs to be a rectangle, we know it have to have a length and a width, one side longer than the other. And we know if it's area, we need to find out what combination of numbers multiplying together to give you this 24. So we could have, so it's length multiplied by width. So we could have 24 by 1. We could have 12 by 2. We could have 8 by 3. And we could have 6 by 4. Alright. Based on the grid now, we know we can't fit 24 for the length. So that's out. And we also can't fit 12. So this is out. So you could have any one of these two here. You could draw. You could draw 8 by 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you could have this. Or you could even have 6 by 4. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could even have this here, right? 6 by 4. Right, and I get 2 marks. Number 31 shown below is a rectangular field with a concrete part shaded. Alright, so they said what is the area of the shaded concrete part? So we have the shaded part here, we have an unshaded part here. So to begin with, we need to calculate the area of the entire shape. Because if you think about it now, you want to think about it like if you have a cardboard box, a flat piece of cardboard, alright? And I cut out the middle here, so you remain with just this part on the outside here. So this part is missing. So that is the same concept we're in here. That's how you calculate the area of the outside part. You basically remove the middle part, alright? So good. So looking at this here now, we do not know the length of the entire field, and we do not know the width of the entire field. So the length would be 2 meters add 7 meters add 2 meters. So 2 meters add 7 meters add 2 meters, which will give us 11 meters. So we know the length is 11 meters. The width now we know here is 2, so that's 2 plus 4 plus 2, which will give us 8 meters. Alright, so we know the width is 8 meters. Now we can calculate the area of the field. And we know that's length multiplied by the width, which is equal to 11 meters by 8 meters, which is equal to 88 meters squared. From here now, we need to calculate the area of the unshaded part, because that is the part that is being removed basically. We're not accounting for that. So the area of the unshaded part would be is a rectangle length multiplied by width, which is equal to 7 meters multiplied by 4 meters, which is equal to 28 meters squared. Now to just calculate what remained, which is the shaded part. So the area shaded would be from the total area, which is 88 meters squared. We're taking away, because we're removing that unshaded part, the area of the unshaded part, and that will leave us with 60 meters squared. Alright, so number 32, the incomplete table shows the time 5 runners took to complete a race. The said Edward finished 2.35 minutes faster than Shaliza, and Chris finished 1.4 minutes faster than Edward. What time did Chris finish? So if he finished faster, that means he took less time. So if he took less time, we need to subtract. Alright, so Shaliza's figure. So first we calculate in Edward. So that is Shaliza's figure, 49.05. Subtract 2.35 0.35. Remember, when we subtracting decimals, we line up the decimal point one under the other. So we subtract normal. 5 take away 5 is 0. 0 cannot take away 3, so we take 1 from the 9. Here becomes 8, here becomes 10. 10 take away 3 is 7. You bounce up the point, you put back the point. 8 take away 2 is 6. 4 take away nothing is 4. So Edward time is 46.7 minutes. And the said Chris now finished 1.4 minutes faster than Edward. So Chris now would be the 46.7 take away the 1.4. And that will leave us with 45.3 minutes. Alright, so you get 2 marks for final for Edward, 1 mark for Chris. Oh, the marking scheme for number 31 was 1 for this, 1 here, and 1 here. Number 33. Write one similarity and one difference between a rhombus and a parallelogram. Alright, so a similarity could be both are quadrilaterals. And a difference is not all sides are equal in a parallelogram. Whereas in the rhombus, all 4 sides are equal. Alright, write the name of each triangle shown below. We know with these lines that means all 3 sides are equal, so it is an equilateral triangle. And this one, no sides are equal, so therefore it is a scalene triangle. Remember to spell correctly. Alright, 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark. Number 35, the tally table below shows the favorite food chosen by students in a class. What fraction of the total class chose the model food? So this is the total class. Based on the information here, we don't know the total, so we need to calculate the total. So we add up all. This is 9 plus 4 plus 7, and that will give us 20. Alright, so we know the total is 20. This is the modal food. So the modal is the most common one, which is pizza. That's by 9. They wanted to represent it as a fraction. So fraction would be 9/20ths. Alright. Number 36. After 5 games, Darren scored an average of 82 runs. He played 2 more games and the new average was 90. So therefore, after 7 games, the new average became 90. The 6th game, he scored 26 more runs than the 7th game. So we have a little unequal sharing kind of business going on there. How many runs did he score in the 6th game? So again, whenever we have to find an unknown, we always find for the sum of the numbers or the total. So let's find out the total of the 5. Total of the 5 games. And to calculate the total here, we know the average and the number of games. So that would be the average multiplied by the number of numbers, which is 82 by 5, which is 410 runs. Alright, so he scored 410 runs after the first 5 games. Then the new total would be the new average, which is 90, multiplied by the number of games now, which would be 5 add 2 is 7, and that will give us 630 runs. For now, we know from here now we know that the total number of runs scored in the 6th and 7th games. So we want to know the runs in 6th and seventh game would be the difference of these two, which is 630 take away 410, and that will leave us with 220 runs. So that means in the 6th and 7th game, he scored a total of 220 runs. From the information given here, they said that the 6th game he scored 26 more runs than the 7th game. So this is where we use our unequal sharing here. So we say now to find out for the 6th game, it would be the 220 take away the 26 extra, and that will leave us with 194. From this 194, we divide that by 2 because it's the 6th and 7th game we're dealing with, which is 2, and that will be 97. So that means we put aside 97 for the 6th game, we put aside 97 for the 7th game. However, in the 6th game, he scored 26 more. So you add 97 plus the 26 that we put aside, and that will give us 123 runs. So he scored a total of 123 runs. Alright. And that's it for section 2. We will continue with section 3 in another video.